Welcome to the second part of this wonderful anime. If you haven't seen the first part, I highly recommend you to watch it through the link in the description. We saw that Shido was able to control Taka's destructive power with a kiss. Next scene, Shido bumps into a girl who trips and falls. He tries to help her up, but the girl is apparently afraid of him. Confused, Shido notices a puppet and realizes it's hers. He picks it up to give it back, but to his surprise it begins to speak, introducing themselves as Yashinon and thanking Shido for helping her before leaving for school. At school, Taka makes cookies and competes with origami, so Shido tries both to appease both girls, but the two continue to argue. The next day, Shido passes by the shrine, where the girl's puppet is seen peeping out from one of the trees. Later, at Shido's house, he finds Taka in the bathroom and she knocks him away. When he asks Kotori why Taka is here, she says that Taka will be living with them since he sealed her powers. Kotori and Rain then explain that he still needs to help seal more spirits. As such, Kotori tricks Shido into replacing a lamp, causing Shido to accidentally bump into Taka. Later, Kotori forces Shido to take the first bath, but he discovers that Kotori had arranged for Taka to go there unknowingly. Finding Shido inside, an embarrassed Taka begins to hilariously punish him. The next morning, Shido wakes up to find himself in Taka's room, and she starts throwing things at him again. The next scene in the school, a spacequake alarm goes off again and Tammy advises the students to go to a safe shelter. Confused Taka asks what happens, to what Shido explains there's a spacequakes. At Fraxiness, Shido sees a spirit and surprised to find out that it's the girl he encountered yesterday, where they codenamed her as Hermit. Kotori then tells Shido that unlike most spirits, she is incredibly passive. Suddenly AST arrives and starts shooting. Shido is shocked by what AST is doing, to which Kotori reminds him that AST will do anything against spirits. However, the AST loses her, but the Fraxiness crew finds her in a closed mall where Kotori transports Shido to the location. After Kotori's advice, Shido reluctantly finally states that he is passing by and introduces himself. Meanwhile, at the school shelter, Taka is worried about Shido and wonders why Shido would leave, but Tammy assures her that he will be fine. But suddenly Tammy realizes that Taka is gone and she had ran off to look for him. Outside the mall, the AST members wait for the Hermit to leave while Ryuko thinks about the new high school transfer who looks exactly like Hermit. Inside the mall, Yashinon falls on Shido, causing their lips to touch. They then get up and Shido apologizes for what happened. Suddenly, as Kotori tries to warn him, he sees Taka standing nearby, who angrily asks Shido what he just did. With Taka's tournament conditions, her spirit powers begin to return to her. Shido then tries to explain, but is interrupted when Yashinon taunts her that Shido chose her over Taka, provoking Taka to escalate the situation. Kotori then informs Shido that now the Hermit status is rapidly declining, so Shido asks Taka to return the puppet. Suddenly, Yashinon calls out for her angel named Zadkiel, causing everything around to freeze. With that, Kotori orders Shido and Taka to leave immediately, but Yashinon starts attacking Taka. Luckily Shido is able to save Taka in time. The girl then tears up the place before leaving but is spotted by AST. So Zadkiel causes a sudden eruption of snow that allows her to escape without notice. With the Hermit no longer in sight, Ryuko orders the AST team to return to base. Back with Shido, he asks Taka if she's okay, where she tells Shido to leave her alone as she's still upset about the previous misunderstanding. At Atsuka's residence, Taka is still upset about what happened earlier. Meanwhile, at the local shrine, the Hermit stands in silence alone with her puppet missing. Later, Rain guesses that Taka's problem involves Shido and the Hermit, but Taka admits that she herself isn't really sure why she's in such a bad mood. However, Shido had gone grocery shopping and surprisingly encountered Yashinon. He calls out to her, but she starts to run away, only to find that she has lost her puppet. Back at dinner, Taka states that she doesn't care who Shido is with, because it's none of her business, but she adds that she felt terrible when she saw Shido with Yashinon. She then continues to tell Rain that it made her feel sad and scared more than anything she's gone through. Back with Shido, we see that he realizes that Yashinon lost her puppet during the encounter with AST. It is then revealed that the girl's name is actually Yoshino as the puppet is really Yashinon. So the two continue to search for Yashinon until her stomach growls. So Kotori calls Shido and tells him to rest and eat, thus giving him time to question Yoshino. After eating, Shido asks Yoshino why she never confronts the AST team, where she says that she doesn't like violence. Shido then pets her head and declares that he is here to protect her, saying that he is now her hero. Yoshino thanks Shido for his kindness, but then Shido tries to kiss her to seal Yoshino's power, but suddenly Taka arrives and catches them, so they can't kiss. In her room, Taka throws her anger on her pillow. Later, Shido visits Origami, but as the two talk, Shido's connection to Kotori is mysteriously disconnected. Arriving at Origami's room, the door suddenly opens and he sees Origami dressed as a maid. Origami then starts taking a shower, so he looks around the corners of her room between various saucy scenes and is able to find Yoshinin. However, Origami finishes her shower, where Shido is completely embarrassed. He later tells her that he has spoken to the spirit before, much to her horror and disbelief. Shido tells her that not all spirits are as bad as she thinks, like Taka and Yoshino. But she responds by saying that spirits are still the cause of space earthquakes. She leaves immediately after her phone rings and tells him that no matter what happens, she has to follow orders. Meanwhile, Yoshino is surrounded by Ryuko, so she summons Zad Keel, where the surroundings begin to freeze and the AST members become frozen, and this video ends here. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next part that will be published very soon.